Well, hello there, true believers. Or not? Well, it seems to me that most of the comic book fans aren't really true believers these days, but more like a bunch of racists who really don't care about good comics, good storytelling, and the values that the original comic book creators like Stan Lee stood for, which is a true diversity, understanding, but most of all, good storytelling, excellent stories, and that these people only care about gossip and inclusion and representation and oppression, or so-called oppression, non-existing oppression of certain groups, except for one which really is oppressed actively, brutally, extremely these days. And that's me, the white man, the devil, the Satan. Let me be a bit more specific now. I've got some news for you. So, apparently, Marvel Comics, and Disney, more like, yeah. So Disney wanted to make a Moon Knight TV show on Disney Plus based on the famous anti-hero Moon Knight. And so there was a casting, and there were rumors of that casting, and according to those rumors, which later got more or less proved, Oscar Isaac was cast as the Moon Knight hero. Oscar Isaac, most of you, I think, or most of us will know him from Star Wars, the Disney sequel trilogy, and he will also star in the upcoming Dune adaptation of Frank Herbert's novel. But as it always is with these bunch of racists, there has been a lot of scandalous shouting about and around this casting. So I will just read out an article that sums it up very quickly, and then I will provide you with my take on it. So, Bounding into Comics says, Marvel's rumored casting of Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight sparks fan backlash against race swapping of Jewish hero, with recent rumors indicating that Oscar Isaac is in talks to don the mantle of the Fist of Khonshu as Moon Knight in the upcoming Disney Plus series. Fans have taken to social media to voice their opposition to the character's potential race bending. Marvel's interest in Isaac was first reported by Deadline, who announced that they had heard Isaac is in negotiations to star as the title character in Moon Knight, the Marvel and Disney Plus series based on the comic book hero. The series development will be helmed by Jeremy Slater, who previously adapted Gerard Way's The Umbrella Academy for Netflix and wrote the screenplays for Josh Trank's Fantastic Four and Netflix Death Note. First introduced in Werewolf by Night in 1975, Moon Knight is the vigilante alter ego of Mark Spector, a former mercenary who was betrayed by his team during an expedition but revived by the ancient Egyptian god of the moon, Khonshu, in exchange for his service to the deity. Though he possesses no inherent superpowers of his own, Moon Knight possesses a peak human physique and is an expert in a variety of skills, including martial arts, weapons combat, and detective abilities, which, alongside his all-white suit, has led regular comparisons being drawn between him and DC's Batman. One particularly prominent and important aspect of Moon Knight's character, aside from the multiple personalities presented by his dissociative identity disorder, is his Jewish heritage, and so on and so forth. But this is interesting, especially for me. In Moon Knight issue 37 from 1984, Spectre recalls that his parents came to America just after Hitler's Goose Stepper turned Czechoslovakia into a German puppet during World War II, and that his father was an ordained rabbi who went on to become a brilliant scholar in the Kabbalah Jewish mysticism. In America, he was lucky just to be alive, Spectre observes in the issue. It's especially interesting for me because I come from the Czech Republic, previously Czechoslovakia. His heritage has been referenced numerous times, most recently in Max Bemis's 2018 run on the character, which further explored the character's relationship with Jewish culture. However, following this announcement by Deadline, fans took to social media to speak out against the casting of the former Star Wars and X-Men Apocalypse star, out of fear that the character's blatant race swapping would erase Moon Knight's Jewish heritage. And there was a guy who said, for instance, I think on Twitter, Moon Knight is not an ambiguously Jewish character. Moon Knight cannot be explored without attention to his Judaism and his father's Judaism, and his father's story as a refugee from anti-Semitism. A first-generation Jewish immigrant shouldn't be played by a Goyish person. And so on and so forth. So let me tell you one thing. Firstly, these people are stupid and uneducated. Because I don't think that being Jewish is a race thing. It's not a matter of race, it's a matter of faith. It's a matter of religion. And if you want to make stereotypes as far as the looks go, look at Oscar Isaac. I don't think he is, his looks are improper for playing a character like this, if you know what I mean. He is an actor who can play whomever he wants if he can do that, as far as religion goes, as far as ideas go, as far as opinions go. He can play a hero and he can play a villain if he is a good actor. So it's most certainly not a question of race. Now, look at the other things that have been happening recently, and you will realize that there is truly and honestly a set of double standards, or sets of standards, many standards as far as casting actors as comic book characters go. Look at Commissioner Gordon in the upcoming Batman movie. Well, he's a person of color in the movie. He is white in the comic books. He has always been white. Look at Catwoman in the upcoming Batman movie. She is a person of color. She's never been a person of color in the comic book. She was once a person of color when there was this horrible movie with, what's her name? Well, the same chick who played Storm in the X-Men movies. Just blanking on the name. Think about Heimdall, who was always white in comic books and Norse mythology. A Norse god. Look at Nick Fury, who was always white in comic books. But, he's masterly portrayed by Samuel L. Jackson in the films, the Marvel films, the Avengers, Thor, Iron Man, so on and so forth. So, and we could name characters who have been race swapped this way, being transformed from being white to being a person of color. We could name hundreds of these, or at least dozens. Now, you want to cast Oscar Isaac as a Jewish hero, and suddenly there's a problem with that? Now, I am most certainly not a racist. I hate all people. I don't like any people. People are vicious bastards. All of them. All of them. Notwithstanding their race, their looks, their gender, their sexuality, their opinions. I like a couple of individuals and the rest can go bug themselves. So, with this kind of racism and double standards, my dear fans, you can go to hell. You can take your vicious acts, you can take your viciousness, you can take your stupidity, you can take your racism, you can take your double standards, shove them up your asses, and twist them. That's what I think about it. Otherwise, quite honestly, I don't really care. As I said many times before, I don't really watch movie or TV adaptations of comic books anymore, because there is nothing in them for me at all. So yeah, that's it. That is my honest opinion about the whole matter. Using just common sense. And try using common sense once in a while, my friends. And try to realize what has been happening lately. And think about it for a bit. So what do you think, my friends? Do you share my opinion, or does your opinion differ in any way? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, subscribe to this channel if you want to, or if you haven't done so already. There are a lot of videos like this to come. Dislike this video if you don't like it. Like this video if you like it. And you can follow me on various bloody awful social media, such as Twitter or Instagram. That will be all. See you soon, and bye.